Well, that's your constituency spotlight from your election central. Now, the National Democratic Congress (NDC) has requested the Electoral Commission to seek for IT support from the UNDP ahead of the election 2024 presidential and parliamentary votes. Now, this request was made at the Inter-Party Advisory Committee on July 1, 2024. Here is a summary of fallout from the meeting, and the summary captured EC to allow prison inmates, students and security personnel special duty list submitted to EC already to transfer their votes into constituencies where they are residing presently or from Wednesday 3rd to 5th of July 2024. The political party agents are permitted to observe the transfer process at the EC district offices and 25 campuses where they just ended limited voter registration exercise took place. And the third one says that proxy applications by security personnel on special duties who will be available to vote scheduled for July 3 to 5, 2024. The fourth one, political party agents are permitted to observe the proxy process, including observing that the biometrics of the original voters and his or her proxy is captured. Compilation of special voters list to be done by the EC from 6th to 7th of July 2024. Security personnel whose names have been submitted to the EC for special duties must appear in their uniforms with their voter ID cards at the EC district offices to be verified as special voters. And EC to review all proxy applications that did not go through biometric capture and report to the next Ec-Ipac meeting. The eighth one, request for IT technical support to be sent to the UNDP to assess the Electoral Commission ahead of the December 7 presidential and parliamentary elections. So joining us via Zoom for a discussion on the back of this is Dr. Rashid Tanko, the Deputy Director of Elections for the NDC. Doc, thank you for your time. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Annie.
Right, Doc, yes, but you're welcome. You're welcome to Newsbeat. Firstly, let me find out what went into your suggestion to the EC to seek the IT assistance from UNDP.
Annie, looking at the posturing of the current Electoral Commission as set up, they need serious support. In fact, they need technical support from outside, from the jurisdiction of the Electoral Commission themselves. Because if you look at their posturing during the limited registration exercise, you saw that their IT system failed them in terms of generating proper figures. They were just giving us wrong figures, chaining out wrong figures, fake figures. And then we corrected them. Upon correcting, even the corrections we gave them, they still went about with the same figures. And then that tells us that they had challenge with their IT system. We're surprised when Madam Jean Mensa herself in a press conference announced that the IT people were using Coral Draw. And this is unheard of. In fact, it was terrible, unheard of, that Coral Draw was used to model bar charts and then calculate figures. We're surprised. It means there is a challenge with their IT setup. Now, going forward, recently they just did transfers and proxies. And then we realized that during the proxy windows, those who went in for the proxies, none of them were verified. None, not even one person was verified. In fact, people just sent their ID cards with their nominees, and then they quickly took their numbers and filled a form for them. They signed into the form, and that ends it. The rest is left to them. They just inputted their ID numbers into their system and said the proxy is done. Who does that? That is wrong process. That means that any dead people's name could be used for proxies. Because since they are not there to be verified to find out whether they are actual voters in the polling stations or in the constituency, and you just manage to get their ID cards and get to the polling station, registration center, you are good as to go. So we told them at the Ec-Ipac meeting that it's like there is a serious challenge with their IT setup. They need an assistance. And that is why my boss, Dr. Maniboama, called on UNDP to assist them. Don't forget, this is not the first time such a call is made to assist Electoral Commission. In 2012, the NPP called for similar support for overhauling of the IT setup by the Electoral Commission, and UNDP graciously supported logistics and other things for the IT setup to be reviewed. And that's how we went about it in 2012. So, I mean, our call is timely. Looking at the situation they found themselves, it appeared the IT setup is completely out of order of the current Electoral Commission. And so, therefore, they need support. And that's why we call for this support to engender the confidence we, the political parties, are all looking up to.
Okay, that's to say that it is a request we have actually done before as a country, and it was successful.
Very well, yes. We did it in 2012. During Afrajan regime, it was NPP who did made the call. I mean, they requested that UNDP should support Electoral Commission at that time because they were not satisfied with the IT setup of the Electoral Commission during the 2012 window. And that was the first time we were using the biometric register for elections. And it was acceded to by the UNDP. And so our call is not out of order. If we have seen serious challenges currently, nobody needs to tell you that the Electoral Commission is faced with serious challenges over their IT setup. And I've given copious reasons why there's a need to support them. And so
I mean,
it's within.
Is it I don't know if we can conclude that we have appointed a person in the person of Dr. Peter Apiahene to the Electoral Commission, and when the debate was on as to whether he's an NPP card-bearing member, one of the arguments that was put out was that he is an IT expert. And I am on the UENR education website. It says that the head of the Department of Computer Science and Information of the UENR has been appointed to the Electoral Commission of Ghana on Monday, March 20, 2023. So it tells you that we have an expertise in the person of Dr. Peter Apiahene. Are we paying him for an incompetent job done?
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. Invariably, it means that his competencies need to be reviewed because his presence there is rather messing up the Electoral Commission than what they used to do. Because as soon as he was appointed and we critique the appointment, don't forget, he's a full-blown NPP man. 2020, he collated their results for Bono region for them. It's not a secret. This one is an open secret. Everybody is aware he's a full-blown NPP man. And now he's there, and the MPP plus Electoral Commission, everything is just messed up in terms of their IT system. Until yesterday, that they were able to give us figures of the just ended limited registration exercise. After we have finished way about several weeks, because they were still going through some quality assurance, they feared that the NDC could catch them again. And then so these things that they are doing over there, we cannot rely on their current technical setup over there. It means they are bereft. There is a lot of work to be done before we get to December 7, because we can't continue this way. Don't forget, the same Electoral Commission,
how did the Electoral Commission
2023.
How did the AC receive your suggestion? Because I know that from the NPP side, the party has, rubbished it, and they think that the Electoral Commission is on course, and so we have to give them the chance.
We did make the call at Ec-Ipac meeting yesterday. We were all there. The NPP was represented by their Director of Elections, Evans, and then their Deputy General Secretary. And I went there with my boss, Dr. Manibwama. When we made the call, nobody objected to it. All the political parties accepted it. Even Dr. Bosman Asari and Mr. Tete, both of them presided. None of them said anything about it. In fact, they also admitted that there is a need to assist them on something of that nature. So it came to us as a surprise when MPP left the meeting and went outside and they were talking to the media about it. Why didn't they say anything about it at the Ec-Ipac meeting? Because they fear their own shadow, and they fear that their double standard will be exposed. They did that in 2012. Did we critique it? Did we stop them? And at 2012, did we have this current challenge we are having? The current challenge we are having, did we have it in 2012? Was Afarjan chaining out wrong figures? Was Afarjan using Coral Draw to chain out figures? Now that we have this challenge, was people going through proxies without being verified? All these things never happened. And so if it is happening now, there's a need for us to let them know that they have a challenge with their IT setup. And we need to correct that. We can't continue this up to December 7th. And then on December 7th, they will start giving us wrong figures and say that their IT system is having problems. Maybe they are using another software, which is not working. And therefore, figures are being muzzled or mixed up. We are not going to accept that.
I'm sorry, I'm going to let you go, but an IT system used or deployed by the Electoral Commission, isn't this something that every chairman or new chairman that takes over uses, or every leader comes in with a new system?
That's why we are surprised, because if it hasn't broken, why fix it? So we are surprised when we heard them saying that they were using different IT systems and that they even employ new IT directors. All the people who were there from 2012, 2016, when these commissioners came in, they removed all of them. They transfer almost everybody out from the national office. So if you go there, you see different set of IT officers. It appears they didn't train them well, or they don't understand the kind of electoral system we are running. Because if they are trained them well and they get to understand our electoral system very well, we won't have this challenge that we are having.
Right.
Because the commissioners themselves, it took them by surprise. Yesterday, some of the revelations were given them, as if they themselves didn't understand what was going on. It is the IT group who are messing them up. And so that's why we are calling for these assistance for them. They need their assistance so that we all have confidence in the electoral system.
Right. Dr. Rashid Tanko, we're grateful for your time this afternoon. And he is actually the Deputy Director of Elections for the NDC, and speaking to us on the